All right. Hello, everybody. If it's Wednesday, it's Warhammer, and that must mean it's time for another episode of Warhammer Weekly. Joining me, as always, is my co-host Tom. What's up, Tom?
Hello, friends.
By the way, we're using a different audio setup today, so people in the chat who can see this, please tell me that you can hear us okay, as I just saw it come up. So that's good. It's live. That's nice.
Right. My head is
Hello,
like completely cut off.
Mute it, Tom. Pause it. For another episode of Warhammer Weekly. Joining...
We're good.
Classic. Classic.
You've been doing this for many years?
Well done, Tom.
I
Was
don't know.
5 years for you or 5 days?
It feels like 5 days.
Sure. Also joining us this week, you can already tell, is our wives. So my wife, Kathy, say hello.
Hi, everybody. I'm wearing my doctor's mask, for COVID.
Mm-hmm. She's ready for the plague. And Tom, would you like to introduce your wonderful wife?
This is my wife, Amber.
There you go. For those of you who watched the previous Warhammer Wives show, they, hopefully they're familiar. Neither of us switched wives since that show. Still the same wives.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to do some questions for the wives tonight. So if you've got questions, drop them in there. But first we'll do some quick normal stuff, which is just some minor news things. So Tom, have you got some minor news things?
Yeah, we have like a rumor engine or something, right?
We do. It's up on the screen.
Yeah, you're kind of excited about this rumor engine, aren't you?
Well, a lot of people were saying it's the back of a giant. It's clearly not. It's way too small in scale. You can tell from the size of the brush strokes.
Yep.
So I don't know what it is. I have no clue. Actually, I take that back. I've got a theory. It just clicked with me.
It could be bunnies.
Mm-hmm.
There it is. There it is.
Yes. So it looks photoshopped around the edge, right?
Yep.
It's that little thing right there.
It's the little thing in the bottom right corner, yes. Okay, so what's the most classic component of the old giant kit, Tom?
The cow?
Well, no, the cow is good, but there's a much more famous thing.
Johan.
Johan, which is a guy running away going, ah, from the giant, right?
Right.
Whatever that, a bunch of people said that looks like the back of a figure, but it's way too small to be the giant in scale.
Right. You're suggesting it's a new Johan.
Boom! Johan 2 Electric Boogaloo, that's what it is. Yep.
I'm going to need more Jen for this.
Sure, that seems reasonable. Tom?
I mean, checks out.
Sure. Amber, do you have any guesses as to what this image is in the corner of the screen? Any thoughts? You can guess anything.
It looks
She
like
just missed it. That's all right. It's okay. We don't know either.
Wait, hold on. It looks like it's like a bad dive cowboy bar.
Sure. Okay.
Like it would be behind,
the
bar and up on the wall.
Yeah.
Okay. Mad Max, I killed this in my past life or some nonsense.
Sure.
So let me just share what you don't see. Tom doesn't have any one screen up long enough for me to be able to tell where we're at.
It's true. I'm like jumping around, pulling images
Tom,
for
step
you.
in, Tom.
I'm sorry.
Well, then
in the dust.
You're fine, Amber.
It's right there. It's right there. That's what we're talking about.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm with her on that.
Yeah.
No, it's okay. Your response, honestly, Amber, is right in line with our responses to most of these images most weeks. Like, really, you're completely on brand for the show. We look at them and go, I have no idea what this is supposed to be. So, no, you're right on. You're right on.
I already need more Jen.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. We've already sent her for more alcohol. All right, Tom, what else we got in the news?
Yeah, sure. So, wrong button. We found out about White Dwarf this week. We have 3 new battalions dropping in for OBR. So Volkmortian,
Morshian, however you say his name.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. So some more OBR stuff. Maybe they'll balance out with the stalkers and the other guys. Maybe.
Okay.
So that's coming. And they had an article or like a info thing dropped today about like when it's going to happen. Whatever.
Yep. It'll be the last, probably potentially normal white dwarf.
Right.
So, yep.
Right. And then we did a show this week. For those that didn't catch it, we did a preview show on the giant releases on Saturday. And we have another one in 2 weeks for another set of releases that are coming. Oh, yeah, I need to tell you about that.
Subtle, Tom. Subtle.
And then, yeah, so it was a good show. What were your thoughts on it, Vince?
Yeah, it was. If you want to see our reaction to the most recent preview, I thought it was really good. They fixed all of the challenges they had. Like, we didn't have to wait as long in between. It was much faster. Yeah, it was solidly paced. They did a good job. They actually played the videos again in the interim period instead of just letting it be a few minutes of silence. Well done. They took all the feedback and actually made a change within a week's time. And most importantly, we got the confirmation we're getting our giants, which is all I care about. So there you go. Now we just await what those models are.
It's a true story.
Yep.
Are there female giants?
No, they're not female giants. Come on now.
It's a shame.
Dwarves.
It's a shame.
It is.
Tom's choice of miniatures means he paints like no females because he's been painting dwarves for like the past forever years, and then dead people, and who knows what.
Excuse me, I just painted 90 females of my Daughters of Cain.
I guess that was years ago.
No, that was like that was my army last year.
That feels like that was
years
like
ago.
Yeah,
you probably painted it 2 years ago.
In the current world, Tom, last week was like 2 years ago. So actual a year ago was like 10 years ago. You got to do the math.
That's legitimate. Like, we're trapped in this house with kids. So that's,
you are.
Yeah, I am. You're not. It's true.
She's essential.
She is essential. I am not. Other news. We had a leak today.
Okay.
Like from a pipe?
No, not in our home.
And not from our 3-year-old.
And not from our 3-year-old. Also.
All of the potential leak sources. Yes, we're not that. Yes.
I'm just looking for my window to share this real quick. Here we go.
I have the image of Heish, if that's what you're going to do.
No, I'm going to do this one first.
Okay.
So this was shared, and it wasn't meant to be shared.
Okay.
And there's some interesting elements here that we did not previously see. Most significantly here, of new things, are down here. Do you guys see that zoom?
Enhance.
Yeah,
enhance.
We have these war picks here.
Okay. Instead of hammers, yeah. So he's got a big pick thing.
So there is a weapon swap, even if we still have the dumb heads. The moo cow heads.
That's his helmet. See, he's got a normal face here, and then it's a super tall head up into like a bull on top of it. But this is his actual face. See, like those are his eyes.
Why?
That's a good question. Many in the community are asking that same question.
That's his head, way down there.
Yeah, the lower part's his head. See, those are his shoulders.
Oh, I thought that was his crotch, because I thought that the bull head was his head, and then if you he just had a really skinny body, and then he had like extra appendages.
No, although we can get Haywo Twitch on that, and you can get a version of that if you'd like.
Oh no, thank you.
I mean, that's a true story.
I think you could make it into the Tiger King if you take the horns off.
Oh, the Tiger King.
It's true.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we'll get there. Other significant elements here that we learned about were there's a really weird, like, this helmet is a little bit different. Like, this is actually, I think that this looks like a different captain, even if it's not. I don't know if it's the angle, but it looks actually a lot more like that art piece that we got with the one helm.
Sure.
See, those are normal heads.
Yes, those are normal helms. Yes.
What? Is this the normal head?
No, that's a weird, scary baby head.
It's like mini horns and big horns.
Yeah, I agree. How about this cow up here? Ladies, what do you think about the cow?
That's not a cow. That's a cow?
Well, I don't know. It's a giant monster.
It's a man
He's
with
got a lion face.
or a yak head.
Because he's got like the split lip with the nose thing with the eyes and little ears. I don't get it. It doesn't look. I don't know.
Could be 8.
I don't know. I haven't spent time in Texas. Tom, tell us.
It looks like a steer to me.
Okay.
You know, only 2 things come from Texas.
Yes, Tom. We all got it. We all went there. It's all good.
And then Teclis is back here hiding.
Sure.
And he's flying.
Where he actually looks like he could be a good model when he's out of focus.
Yes, exactly. He's terrible when you get a... Yeah, anyways. Okay, so there we go. That was the new thing. Do you have the high-ish image that
I do.
shared?
I do.
Is it the one I shared, or is it the one that...
It doesn't matter. You don't need the doctored one. You only need the real one. So it's up on the screen now. Okay, so they shared a map of Heish, the realm of Heish today, the realm of light. Yep. And it's up on the screen now for those who can see the screen. And as was immediately pointed out by anybody who had eyeballs, like their explanation was it's split into 10 realms. So this central realm where most people live, and then there's 4 and 4. And it was interesting enough story. Like 4 of the realms are Teklian. They're more introspective and thoughtful and magical, and they serve Teclis. And 4 of them are more Tyrannic. They serve Tyrion, and they're more martial and melee oriented and things like that. And then there's the Outer Ring, which is the 10th realm, and that's just like wild chaos type of magic stuff, but still it's chaos in an ordered fashion. Don't worry about it. Don't think about it too hard. Anyway, cool enough story. The point is that immediately anyone with eyes recognized that this is the chaos symbol, the 8-pointed star of chaos. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, boom, star right there, clear as day. The realm of Heish is divided in, and this is the legacy realm. Like these were the divisions before the reinvasion of chaos.
Yep.
Like this is from the Age of Myth.
Yep.
So, Tom, your theory's panning out. The symbols are there. You're gonna pretty soon. Tom's gonna have one of those X-File walls. He's gonna have a Pepe Silva wall. Just up there with string.
For those that are still struggling to see what we're talking about, I think it's only appropriate that I share this image.
Sure.
So you have the Chaos 8-pointed star. For those that don't know, clearly Chaos has infiltrated Heish, and the elves have been duped. And Hashut, the father of darkness, the cow-headed god, has tricked all the elves. That's what's happened. The Hashut heresy is real, folks. Called it here first.
There you go.
True.
So,
that's pretty hilarious.
Yep. I think that's.
Did those look like high elves to you?
No.
Are you sure? Those are supposed to be high elves.
No, they're not. They're supposed to be Lumineth realm lords, Tom. You want to make them high elves. High elves are dead. They died in the world that was.
All I know is Tom modifies everything to what he wants anyway. So
that is a true statement.
Oh, I'm stuck in the dog.
That is a true statement indeed.
Sorry.
So I think that's our news.
That's the news. All right, cool. Do you got a pick of the week, Tom?
I do. Paul Conti, friend of the show, just recently released an updated, I would say a video on charging and tactics around it. And it's basically like it's in some sense it's an updated form of the video I did back in first edition AOS. And I highly recommend it. He did a great job kind of summarizing all kind of the tactics around charging.
Nice. Yeah, it's good. I watched it. I like it. He pointed out a lot of really good things that I think people should pay more attention to. And it's also one of the reasons that the game takes forever when you play Tom. So there you go. So you can make your games slow and tedious just like Tom. So isn't that great? Learn all the tricks.
Amber, I got a spare bedroom.
Sure. Win games and play slower. Go ahead, Amber. I'm sorry.
I'd say I'd be up there by tomorrow morning, but I'm not allowed to leave the state.
Right.
It's true. Like our governor literally said we're not allowed to leave the state.
But if I get up there, I'll stay for 2 weeks.
There you go. You're more than welcome. Anytime. Tom, not so much, but you, Amber, you can come anytime.
Thanks.
So The my pick of the week is actually I want to do a nice shout out. So there's a gentleman who watches the show named Philip Wilkinson every week. He's awesome. He's a great regular viewer. And every week he's been watching the whole show and then composing the show in rhyme. Like he hits all the high points of the show in rhyme. He puts together a rhyme, a poem, a rap. You may call it whatever you want, but the point is that it's great. And he always has it in the comments, and I always really love when he does it. It always makes my day. So I wanted to shout Phil out for thank you for being a regular viewer and doing such good work every week. So thank you, Philip. So you can check that out. Just watch the comments for his stuff. There's usually really great comments. I'm so grateful for everybody who watches the show and leaves comments. They always say really cool things. So, all right, Tom, what have you been working on, man? What's your hobby time? You getting your kids' armies painted since you're stuck inside?
No. They're painting their own armies. But I've been doing some Warcry with my son. We played a couple games yesterday. I played Night Haunt twice because I'm lazy, and he played Stormcast and Iron Jaws. So, yeah. So been doing that. I've been painting a little bit. I went and snuck into one of my local stores and ransacked their old bits lot, so that I came away with like 100 and some bits of high elf stuff. So I am ready for the new release.
Okay.
What about you? What have you been working on?
So
Vince has been working on the Giraffosauruses.
That's what she's called them. Yes. Yeah. So I've been doing obviously the 24-hour. I did another paint an army in 24 hours. I won't talk about whether or not I was successful, but you know, it was maybe a little of both. Who knows? You'll have to wait and see for the video. But I will say that I now have some amount of painted Seraphon, and I have some amount more I could paint. So there we go. That's how that works out. I've also been doing some more work on this girl, my Sister of Battle in the Sunset scheme. I really love this scheme, but I didn't get to work on it because I've done nothing but Giraffosauruses, yes. All Giraffosauruses for many days. And that was a long, intensive process. But we're going to try a bunch of new fun things with this video and for the tutorial for this and actually try to be, like, professional and, you know, edit a video and stuff like that. I don't know. It's crazy. It probably won't take. I warn everybody in advance. But we'll see what we can do. I figured out how I do, like, a little overlay thing where I can put a picture on the screen while I'm talking. I'm learning things. It only took 5.5 years, so I feel like that's really good.
I mean, I think we've done that before.
Not in a tutorial video. I can show it this.
Oh, got it.
Yeah. But at any rate, yeah. So that's my hobby time. Good stuff. Okay.
I've also put together a lot of things, like that are not. I mean, it's true.
That was so late.
Like,
it's very vague, Tom. Very vague.
Like, I put together so much furniture this week.
Oh, see what, IKEA?
No, like outdoor stuff. Like we renovated our deck basically this week because I mean, why not? We have lots of outdoor home time and it's been great weather. And so I've been like, my fingers hurt from building furniture today.
Like, are you assembling furniture or are you actually building furniture?
You out there with a table saw?
I don't see Tom like.
No, I did tear down that. Remember the outdoor deck that was all rotted, Vince?
Yeah.
I tore that all down, so the patio is all nice downstairs.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So
it will be nice.
Oh. God, I love how she keeps you grounded.
She does. But so we're literally like, but that has involved a lot of like breaking and sawing and the like. But no raw building.
Mm-hmm.
So
okay, all right. I do want to give a shout out to Paul in the chat before he goes absolutely insane, because his take, by the way, on the Heish map is not that it's the Chaos Star, but that it's a spider. So that it's a giant spider. And
we'll go with that.
Sure.
Okay.
So it's not just that the elves have secretly given themselves over to a spider god, I think is his point. So sure, why not? I kind of hope either of those things are true.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the entrance of Loth into the mortal realms.
There you go. There you go. Oh, good call. I like it. Where are we gonna? Yeah, we can have that happen. Right on. Bring on some drow. I'm down with that. All right. So with that out of the way, shall we get to the real segment of the show? The reason we're all here tonight.
Yes, I'm like trying so hard to make sure we have all the questions. Okay. I think we have all the questions from Twitter and all the questions from the comments all in the document.
Okay.
That's what I was doing, jumping back and forth, folks.
Sure. So you went and pulled all the Twitter questions as well.
Okay, so I've got some questions of my own, and I think it needs to go back to two things. One, Amber, what are you drinking tonight?
Let's see. Tonight is amaretto sour. And the background is I had half a bottle of sour and no amaretto. So I asked Tom to get me a full bottle of amaretto so I could finish it off. Well,
that's not exactly what happened.
I didn't. I told you it wasn't essential, and you were still kind enough to get it from the store.
Because I made an extra stop and risked my life with COVID to buy her a bottle of amaretto.
Oh, yes. Clearly. Putting yourself on the line. Yes. You and the soldiers of World War II. Basically the same thing now, Tom. Absolutely.
Okay, Tom, what are you drinking? Bourbon?
Yeah, I'm drinking my Distiller's Select Woodford Reserve Kentucky Derby 146. It's not going to happen now. Their Distiller's Select. So this might be a collector's item, but I'm drinking it. So that's what's happening.
I think you can still buy the bottle.
Right.
I can probably go get another bottle.
Vince is drinking strawberry lemonade, vitamin water, 0 sugar. That's his newfound non-diet. He's still off caffeine.
Mm-hmm.
Still don't believe this. Like the person I'm slowly tackling the bottles of Diet Dr. Pepper upstairs. I take them into work when I go in. And like my team, basically I just say, I have a 6-pack and we put it away over the course of like 2 weeks, and so that's kind of, they're
that would have been a day for me. Sure.
I know that would have been a day, but like they're slowly struggling it. And I am drinking, I have Beefeater 24 right here, right now. And then I brought down Beefeater Pink. So, and I've got my Fever Tree tonic. So that's what we're drinking tonight.
Okay.
And then Amber, I want to talk a little bit about Tom's choice of footwear for today, because you let something slip.
Oh, come on.
Earlier about him leaving to go get you something, and I was like, no, wait, dip, wait. So, we're hunkered down. Vince and I are stuck here, and it's interesting because, he works from home normally, so it's like no big deal for him, but I'm an extrovert, and I'm going a little crazy, and so, we'll get to that later, but I didn't send Vince to the grocery for liquor, given it's an essential. Although Ohio, you can now have it delivered. So as of today, or earlier this week, you can purchase food and you can get 2 alcoholic beverages with every entree, and it can be delivered to your house. So tomorrow we're hitting the margaritas hard, and I'm taking Friday morning off.
Are you having Vince? Are you ordering margaritas with Vince's entree so that you can drink those too?
Absolutely. I'm not stupid.
Mm-hmm, sure.
Anyway, so that's on that. But Amber sent Tom out earlier.
Let her tell the story.
I'm getting there.
Okay. You did a lot of setup.
I'm sorry. I've had a lot of liquor.
Let Amber go.
Go ahead, Amber. Never mind. I just got shut off.
Oh no, it's perfectly fine. I enjoy your storytelling, actually. So it was actually the offer of, hey, we were out of milk, so we needed. That was probably more essential than anything that I'm drinking currently.
We drink a lot of milk.
Yeah.
Gross. Continue.
Tell that to our kids.
Sure.
Is it over Lucky Charms or Fruit Loops?
Just milk.
Just chocolate milk, over and over and over again. So I said, hey, we are out of milk. Like, can't make any more chocolate milk. So he was headed to the store. So I offered him, like, I'm going to stay home today. I work most days back in the office, but today I was at home. So I was like, okay, well, if you want to, I can wrangle the kids here at the house and give you a chance to get out. So he gets out, he runs, runs to the store, comes back and look down, and I'm like, did you choose to wear mismatching sandals for a reason?
Mm-hmm. Not
He goes,
socks, shoes. Mismatching shoes.
Okay, first of all, they were sandals.
He doesn't even know that they aren't matching.
Mhm.
Hours later, still doesn't have a clue.
See, they're very similarly made sandals. And you just slip your foot in there, and I found one. I couldn't find the other. I saw the silhouette under the other. So I just pulled it out and put my foot in it. I didn't really look at it because I assumed it was the other matching sandal to my pair. So I wandered around Lexington with 2 different sandals today. That happened.
Mhm.
And not a clue.
So Vince never not wears, I know, not grammatically correct, but we'll live with it for now, the same pair of Doc Martens, right? He is always wearing the Chelsea boot. That's his thing. He wears them. That's what he wears. He loves them. It annoys me because every time I say, "Hey, you probably should get another pair of them," his response is always, "Oh, when the next season is over." So I know people have asked about this, and I think Doom might have brought this up to me in another conversation. But yeah, Vince always wears them, and yes, it gets annoying, and he makes a promise every winter, I'll get them in the spring, and then he always pushes that out. Have you gotten a new pair this year?
No,
And?
don't need one. Why would I need new shoes now? I don't leave the house.
Oh my god, here we go.
Do you wear them in the house or
course.
just go out of the house?
All the time, every minute. As soon as I get up and I'm
Good.
going in the morning. So
Does he
effectively,
wear them in bed, Kathy?
I'm
No.
sorry, no.
I obviously not. I don't sleep in them. But no, unless I get up, I work out, I do normal morning things, and then I put my shoes on, and then they stay on until I go to bed at night, and that's it. I wear shoes every day and socks and clothes, like normal people clothes.
This is the
Not
first time
pajamas.
I've flat ironed my hair since I was in Las Vegas, beginning of March. I just like to say that out loud. That
Yeah,
was
my statement is y'all need some discipline. That's what I think. So
I wear pajama pants sometimes for multiple days in a row.
Mhm, yeah.
Oh, look at Amber's face.
Mhm,
So perfect.
mhm.
I'm dealing with 4 kids over here.
Are you going to start wearing the pajama pants to class when you become the traditional professor?
No, I have to get a job first.
That's,
But our kids will probably still be in the same pajama pants.
I know,
That
true.
won't happen.
That's
sure.
Does he have matching pajama pants to the kids?
No, he won't do that.
Okay, that's probably for the best.
I mean, we do have matching Batman pajama pants. Wes and I do.
West hasn't grown into them.
I know.
Well, don't worry. By the time Tom gets a job, Wes will grow into them, and probably out of them, and into like a business suit as he goes off to some job somewhere.
Thanks, Vince.
It's so good having you on here. I appreciate that.
All right, so we got lots of questions. This is good. Well, let me say this, Amber. Did you want to start off with anything before we get into all those other questions? Did you have a question you wanted to ask, or anything you wanted to shout out or expose Tom for, or ask me or Kathy?
No, I just think you're all crazy wanting us back on the show.
Nonsense. You both were a delight, and let me say this: this was absolutely by popular demand.
Right.
You were both extremely well received, and we have been getting not a week goes by that somebody doesn't ask when are the wives coming back on the
I
show.
am not surprised. We are hilarious.
Absolutely. Your spin-off show is ready and waiting. You have a built-in audience, so you're sleeping on it here. You're sleeping on it.
I mean, you really probably could have a real show.
I probably could. It could be titled, what did Vince steal from my craft room today? Or what did I accuse him of stealing, but he actually was given?
That's a segment. That's a segment on the new show.
Oh, that's a segment. Okay.
Yeah, and then every week you spend 5 minutes and talk about what your husband took out of your craft room, or what chores he forgot to do.
Mm-hmm.
That's more than 5 minutes.
I'm just going to be over here putting on my lip gloss.
Well, originally, all of our segments were shorter, but then over time they creep up. So don't worry, Ember. Again, that's exactly how you run a show. You're correct.
Dead
Look,
on.
all I'm saying is we've got a Golden Girls thing here. You're empty nest, just ready to go. So I mean, my point is, when you've got that opportunity, you take it. So, all right, shall we do some questions?
Do it.
Sure.
Tom, I'll let you guide. You wrote them all down. Ask whatever you want.
So I started in the Twitter feed, and then we'll go to the actual show chat. So here you go. So if your husbands were from the mortal realms, what army would they be from, and why? And what would their basic war scroll stats be? You don't know what any of that means.
Kathy, I'm gonna let you take the charge on that one.
I would say that Vince wants to be the girly things, those pink things.
Slanesh.
Yeah, he would want to be in that, but in reality, he would be part of the Skaven army.
Okay. So it's like goals, reality.
Yes.
That's what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. So I am at heart a rat. I understand. Thank you, dear. I appreciate that.
I don't know. It's like if you ask me what character is Vince in D&D, he's always a bard. He wants to be a wizard.
Mm-hmm.
He wants to be a wizard.
Doesn't have the dedication.
But he's always a bard. Like that's how that works.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Fair enough.
So yeah, that terminology. Don't know that I could place anything for what army would they be, or stats, but Tom would be whatever he could be to win.
Oh.
See, Amber, I feel like that is such a stronger answer than what the real question was asking, because that's 100% true. Yes. Tom's war scroll stats would change all the time based on whatever the recent General's Handbook or errata was. It would just get constantly updated.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Very nice. Very nice. All right. What
Okay.
else? Keep going.
So, ladies, when your husband wins a painting award, what's his reward?
Are you happy with it? That's my question. Like,
Sure.
I don't
even really know that you take notice much. Honestly.
Well, it depends on.
It's not like I walk in playing We Are the Champions.
Yeah, no. But I have told him before, like, when we go to Warhammer Fest, which we don't get to go to this year, sadly, but when we do Warhammer Fest, I always tell him, like, so if you lose, so help me God, you cannot be sulky for the rest of the trip. If you take this out on me, it will get ugly and fast.
Yeah, it's really the opposite. Yeah, you're much more concerned about me losing and being in a bad mood than about me winning anything.
Yeah.
That doesn't register.
Yeah, no. And it's not like he comes home and he's like, guess what I won? And I'd be like, and what?
Right, sure. So
Yeah,
Tom wins awards in general, not just for painting. Tom is also a good player, a better player than me. Amber, have you ever taken note of the fact that he's won an event or come home with a trophy?
Yeah, he won't let anybody not know.
I mean, I may actually get my phone out and play We Are the Champions when I walk into the house, so that my kids can come running and be like, "Yay!"
Just kick open the door and shout, DJ Khaled, and then just start saying, all I do is win constantly. Yeah, sure.
I mean, maybe. That
Captain
might
Money
be
Heroes.
That might be real.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Good stuff.
What are your favorite lady? What's your favorite alcohol, and what are you drinking now? We've already covered what you're drinking now. So, favorite alcohol.
Jen.
Depends on the day and what I'm in the mood for.
I mean, that's true.
Like,
That's good.
I really drink across the board, so.
Yeah, no, I'm a big fan of the Jens, and luckily, yeah, I'm dealing with that. Yeah.
Sure. Do you like a flight? Oh, Amber walked. She was trying to do something.
Okay,
I was going to ask her if she likes a flight.
She does like a flight. She will often get a sampling of beers. And
Yeah,
the like.
sure.
Yeah, she's a big beer fan. I think she probably drinks more widely than I do with regard to beer. Like for me, I have like a couple staples. I like a dark lager. I like a nice bock. You know, one of those nice middle like amberish beer. But for her, man, she'll drink just about anything.
Well, she does live with you, Tom, so she can't be picky.
I mean, she has reason. She has warrant for drinking heavily.
Sure.
So,
shout out to Skunk12 in the comments, who is saying the Lagavulin 16. Lagavulin, obviously, the choice of Ron Swanson can never be bad. Yes, absolutely, great.
nice. I'm a big fan of both Scotch and bourbons. Glenfiddich 15 years my favorite, although it's been really hard to find recently for some reason. So that makes me sad. So I've decided to do some bourbon tonight. So
Okay.
Next question. Here she comes. Would you be more interested in miniatures if the gentleman were into sci-fi like 40K instead of fantasy AOS?
No.
Yeah, I couldn't see that becoming a yes answer off of that. Is there any world, Amber, where you could think to yourself, yes, I'd like to sit down and play some kind of miniatures game with Tom? Can you picture a miniatures game you'd want to play with him?
You know what the trap there was in that clause?
What's that?
With
Tom. Sure. No,
yes.
that's why I'm trying to sketch that out. To see
Right.
if there's any miniatures in the world she can even picture that would overcome the negative on the other side of the scale that is you.
Hey, we've done Warhammer quests.
Mhm.
All right.
Like we've played Warhammer quests before. So I mean it's not completely
It says
Is
more interested.
Yeah.
Like
Is there
Oh, more.
no spouses rule in Warhammer?
No.
So it's just in D&D?
Yes.
It's just D&D, yeah.
Okay.
Even though like we've never abided by that. That's just Vince's rule. We do spouses in D&D.
which is easier because that's not even just about winning. So that's
Right,
actually
it's
easier for me.
the cooperative games actually are what work. It's when she's having to like be competitive with me that's the problem. That said, like she'd probably play miniatures with our kids.
I might.
You'd like probably roll dice with Wes or something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm picky sci-fi versus fantasy. So at this point, there's not been a fantasy army that's like super impressive to me. There's a few.
We've
Oh,
looked
okay.
a couple times. We've looked a
Yeah.
couple times, but we haven't really found anything.
Mm-mm.
Adeline locked onto the trees. Sylvaneth and Wes is hopping armies based on what he already thinks is really good. Weird, huh?
Wonder where he gets that from.
No idea.
Weird.
Apple tree, something falling. I don't know.
Started
Yeah, I mean,
throwing
it wasn't-
cash.
Rat.
It wasn't. It's just not. I don't know. I have my own interests, and it doesn't interest me. I mean, maybe at some point in time it will. The painting interests me, but not like the actual thing. So.
Nice.
Yeah.
If somebody asks which Warhammer quest, Warhammer Silver Tower, is
Yep.
the one that we've played a lot of.
Can see that.
Yeah, it's a very easy, like very straightforward cooperative. So, okay, what shenanigans, what shenanigans do you get into when the gentlemen are at gaming conventions?
I get to do whatever I want while Vince is gone. Amber, not so much. She has the kids and the responsibilities and that whole adult thing. I've gone out with the girls and had way too many martinis at PF Chang's, and then gone shopping and ended up with things that don't work and don't fit and big return policy there. So we're not doing that again. But like, just what the heck was Tom okay?
Tom is
there?
spilling stuff everywhere.
Oh my
I just
gosh.
spilled bourbon all over her lap, and then joked around about cleaning it up.
I'm so sorry, Amber.
That
Yeah.
trip up north looks real inviting.
It really,
Sure.
yeah. At some point in time, maybe you need to go to like Smucker's headquarters. Maybe there's like you have to come to Ohio, right? So you have to come up here. Then you're stuck in the state, right? That's how it
The
works.
governor said she's not allowed to leave.
Oh,
True.
Well,
Well, no, I'm interested. Amber, what happens when Tom leaves? Do you ever have some shenanigans? Absolutely. Why not?
Yeah. I can have shenanigans when he's not around.
There you go.
it's just quiet, right?
Well, it's different. So, I mean, I do have the kids, and it's a lot of fun because then they just have one parent to interact with, and I can kind of do things the way I want, and that's nice. The one advantage that I also have is I still have friends that they might be another girlfriend that's closer to me, and so we'll go sometimes meet up with their family. Like in Cincinnati, I've got some friends up there. One of our friends have a acre farm. They've got goats, chickens, a few other animals, so we can let the kids go run and play, and then I can have a little bit of girls' time.
One of your bridesmaids, one of the, your...
Yeah, one of my bridesmaids from actually a high school friend of mine, so still kept in touch. So, yeah, and there's a few friends around here that I'll, catch up with, and then kids can play, and we can have a little glass of wine or some downtime.
Nice.
So, yeah.
That's very nice.
It is. It looks different, and it has to be a little more planned out, and it sometimes hits the mark, and sometimes we get great conversation, and other times we literally referee the whole time, and I look at the other one and go, I'm so glad this is your life too.
It's true.
So,
Vince recently showed off his push-up skills. Does he have any other secret talents, Kathy?
So Vince works out every morning. So, 100 push-ups at a time is not a big thing for him. So he used to run. He didn't like it, but he ran a lot. So if they're trying to get me to say something inappropriate, there's nothing to say, but
Ouch.
No, that's not what I meant.
Sorry, he has no inappropriate skills.
Yeah. Jeez, that hurts.
That's not what I meant.
No, that's fine. I get it. I understand what you're saying.
You told me to keep this PG.
Yes, please do. I stand behind what I said.
You said I can't get mouthy if I get liquored up.
We're gonna have to watch that real close. All right, cool. We can turn that question around, Tom. Which is
Dude,
we can
Tom,
ask Amber what secret skills you have that aren't on display here.
Go on.
The secret skills are not so secret when he leaves the house in 2 different shoes.
I'm not exactly shy, so there's not things that are secret.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you first and foremost what good, the bad, and the ugly, and everything in between. So, I don't know. Actually, one thing I will give him props for, he is really good about randomly bringing me flowers from the store, today included. So,
Oh, that's nice.
I appreciate that. Instead of spending a whole bunch of money for roses at Valentine's Day, I'd rather get, a little bouquet here and there throughout the year. So, yeah, he's good about that. That's a little secret thing that he does that's top notch.
That's very nice.
Yeah.
I literally walked in the door with flowers and a bottle of amaretto.
Mm-hmm.
And milk.
And milk.
Hey, those are essentials.
They are. Have you watched Tiger King? Was it together? What did you think? And did Carol Baskin feed her husband to a tiger?
All right. Well, we're not going to answer the last question because we're not getting involved in that. That's ongoing investigations that we don't comment on in that thing. I'll leave that to the
answer is
side.
obvious.
Sure. Whatever you say.
You just lather him up in sardine oil.
Right. Why would she say that? Why would you say that?
You haven't gotten to that part
I haven't gotten to that part.
Yes,
So-
we
so-
watched it together.
Yeah, absolutely. How far into it are you guys? Because you're watching it together as well.
I watched it separately. Like most things, this is what happens. I preview something, and then I'm like, we should watch this.
And then we start watching it. He decides he doesn't want to keep watching it, and then he drops it. And so, we are in the middle. I kid you not. There's these 12 shows we've started and never finished. He's finished them because he finished them before we ever started them.
No.
And then we get a third, halfway, sometimes close to the end, and he just loses interest.
That's
Like
cold,
what?
Tom. It's cold.
What? Amber, what haven't you finished? What haven't you?
We almost made it to the end.
We always finish.
Oh, jeez.
She might not. You might.
Well, clearly in this case, yes, in fact, Tom, you finished and she didn't. But at any rate, that's literally the story she's telling. But what series besides Tiger King?
Well, we haven't finished Tiger King.
Sure.
We started.
We're over halfway through Tiger King. Let me say that.
It's 7 episodes, Tom. This is not a high bar to clear.
So,
When you only have like 15 to 20 minutes to watch TV at night, it is.
so. And I mean, that is one of our challenges is kids are going to bed a little bit later so they can sleep in a little later. You know, Tom kind of appreciates if they can sleep in till 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning. I go to bed preferably between 10 and 10:30, and I'm up by about 5 to 5:15 in the morning. So our evenings kind of have a short overlap window, especially without kids. And Tiger King is one of those better to watch without kids. But let's see. And most of ours are that we're in that group.
Mm-hmm.
We started Working Moms, never finished that. We started Letterkenny, never finished that. Scrubs, we started, never finished that. How I Met Your Mother, we started, never finished that. We actually, before we had kids, we finished Buffy, we finished Angel, we finished Dollhouse, we finished Serenity. But that was all before kids.
Gotcha.
True.
So, yeah, like everything we start, we don't finish now.
Yeah, that's kids. It's not
Sure.
me.
Well, yes, he's still watching. Tom's still cheating, but yes, that's good. Poor Amber is the
I
loser in
watch
this
things
situation.
while I paint.
There's
So
other-
like when I paint, I just put it up on the computer.
Mhm.
So
there were several like comedy guys that we started that we never finished. The list just goes on. It's the genre across the board. It's not like one style.
Nice.
So, yep.
Okay. And I agree with John Ninas just jumped in the chat and had said both, what did I just walk in on and how did you two land these ladies? Hashtag out of your league. That's definitely true in both of our cases. 100%, John. That's absolutely accurate. Yes.
I do love you.
I love you
I
too.
like to win, and I only choose the best.
Oh, I see.
I don't know what that says about you, Amber. We're gonna leave it. We're just gonna let that lie, okay?
She's a winning ticket.
Oh, she is. She absolutely is. Way above your pay grade.
Way. Like
Yeah.
literally
Because
above
he
her.
has no job.
Burn!
There we go.
I mean, she's got a point there.
Yes.
To be fair, if I had to pay for a nanny, I'd have to spend a lot more. He's got that covered. So it's sort of like a pay raise.
No, I agree. Tom is very much like Fran Drescher.
I'm like the most educated nanny you could ever hire.
I don't know. I bet those au pairs will teach, like, French to a kid.
Mhm.
Yeah, I could teach French.
But he doesn't.
Nobody has a use for ancient Hebrew, okay?
I could teach Hebrew or Aramaic or Greek or
No.
French or German.
How about Latin?
Spanish.
I bet if they make
I
a
can
major
do
in Latin, you could probably go to Harvard,
I could
right?
teach Latin.
He could. He could is not the problem. Does he?
Mhm.
I mean, these armies aren't going to paint themselves.
I miss hanging out with Amber.
Sure. I mean, look, we've now's the time, Tom. You've got your homeschooling regimen ready to go. 9
Yep.
to 10 Latin, 10 to 11 Greek, just hardcore language studies.
11 to 12 art miniature painting lessons.
Mm-hmm. And then the rest of the day French, Spanish, German, so on.
Yeah.
Good.
Checks out.
Okay.
So returning to the fitness question, how many push-ups do you think your husband can do?
I don't know. I mean, like in a sitting, 500 maybe.
Sure. I mean, when I was in high school, I did 300 a day every day for football, so I'll say that.
If he had to, he would.
I mean, you're right.
Sure.
Also true.
This is so good.
All right. I'll point out that you're in charge of these questions, Tom, so you're setting yourself up for this horrible question.
I mean, I set myself up every time I get on the air with you, Vince.
No, I understand. That's perfectly fair.
So Kathy, what gin pairs best with making fun of Tom?
All of it.
Yeah, Amber's probably got the right call. All of it.
Yeah, I like all of it. We'll go with that. I mean, it is so hard for me not, like, I've got to really figure out, is it Dr. Little Tommy Lyons or is it Little Dr. Tommy Lyons? Because phonetically, it just, like, to the ear, what sounds right is probably not what's grammatical, so I've really got to hunker down and reevaluate that.
Well, that doctor needs to actually connect with the name. You're not going to put adjectives in between there, so it would be Little Dr. Tommy Lyons.
Yeah, doesn't that sound weirder?
It doesn't sound right.
but that's what's grammatically, syntactically appropriate.
Maybe you could just have it be doctor. So sometimes people will have obviously lots of. You can have sort of suffixes on your name, Esquire and such, for your legal rights, ESQ. So maybe Tom can just have Dr. Thomas Lyons, comma, LTL.
Yeah.
Little Tommy Lyons.
Yeah, there you
LTL.
Isn't in some languages like Greek, you can actually move where the adjective
Oh,
is,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
based on how
Yeah.
you end it, it refers to what noun you're talking about. So you can put it in
Yes.
the place.
Yeah, there's 4 positions for adjectives in Greek.
See?
You paid attention.
This
Congratulations.
is more than 9 years ago when I audited a course.
It's true. And
Nice.
you paid attention. So yes, there are 4 positions. It could actually, I'm not going to go into
Thank
Greek
you.
lessons.
Thank you. Good. All right.
Yeah.
Good
But
stuff.
I want to go back to the gin conversation,
Yeah.
Kathy. So we went to a concert back in January, and it feels that long ago that it was September, but it was back in January, and they were doing gin and orange juice, and that was one of the first times that I had gin, and I was like, I can do this. So
Yes.
now we just have to buy gin, and I've got orange juice almost all the time. So I'm going to start adding that one to my repertoire.
We were drinking gin and juice. Can you imagine where we might have been?
Can you guess whose concert we were at?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here we go. So, spouses. Somebody relates that they say, my wife tolerates the hobby from a distance and has purchased models for me and will sometimes help with things like color or posing choices, but otherwise just eye rolls. I want to say thank you. How can I do so? Thank you to his spouse. How can I do so in a hobby way that warms her to the hobby at the same time?
So you're asking to restate this question for the spouses. Let me just see if I got this right. The question is, how can I do something hobby related to trick my wife by, like, I'm being nice to her, but I'm sneaking in this trap. That's what you're asking, right? Okay.
Yeah, that checks out.
So for me, it was Dungeons and Doggos. So I like dogs a lot. I mean, we have 3. God forbid we should have more. So anyway, so the Dungeons and Doggos is my first kind of real. Okay, I'm committing to painting these kind of a thing. So that was for me. But other than that, it wasn't really like most of the thank yous that Vince gives me for like getting him things that he wants is stuff I like. So it's not like hobby related necessarily. It's more like, a gift card for, I love a certain type of cardstock. So he'll get me like a gift card for like, Stampin' Up or something like that because it's specific cardstock that I like. So
It's for the hobby that you like.
the stuff that I like, yes.
Right.
I like that example of Dungeons and Doggos. And I would say something similar, like I'm probably just due to time commitment and priorities not able to work towards more involvement in the hobby of miniatures. But at a cursory level, we can find a meeting ground like when we play a game.
That's pretty good.
And the other thing that's fun with that is sometimes we can play with some of our friends or other groups of people, or hopefully with our kids.
All right.
Yeah, and like when we do that, I try to like paint her miniatures too. So like that she would have like painted, like when we had D&D, like always like find miniatures for you for your characters and stuff like that.
Yeah, he would find. Yeah, he'd give me different choices in miniatures, and I could say I like that one better than that one.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
But that's because he had a plethora of miniatures to choose from too.
I mean, that checks out.
Yeah.
So
And they were
For needing to get more miniatures.
okay, so you have the next question.
The next question. Let's see. Does Vince wear the same apron to cook as well as paint? Does he name any dishes after paint names?
Vince is not allowed in my kitchen.
Mm-hmm. Vince does not cook. I
Vince-
occasionally grill, and then I don't really wear this apron when I'm out there.
No.
So
And he
paint
has
now.
a couple different aprons. Like he doesn't have he's got the green one, he's got the tan one, he's got a black one. But yeah, no, he doesn't. He stays out of my kitchen. I don't. Most of the time, it's because he's in my way. So
So how does Vince? How do you decide which apron to wear? Is it based on what's clean or?
That's a good question because I don't know the answer to that.
Sure. So I mean, I generally will stick with one for a while. So like until I get it so ungodly dirty with paint and other sort of detritus that it has to be washed. So
like
then
Tom's
when
pajama pants.
apparently yes, like Tom's pajama pants. So
Hey,
then I'll switch.
Hey, you're not allowed to laugh. Sorry, we have a 9-year-old over here who's just giggling. Here,
Sure.
you take that up to Nate.
Your daughter's, or I think that was your daughter laughing, is what it sounded like. She's got your number, Tom. Clearly.
Clearly,
Your twins are smart. They're going to do just fine in life. I'm sure of that.
they will. They will indeed.
So the so obviously at conventions I always bring the green one because the green one's sort of my traditional convention uniform. But I'll switch between. Just go back and forth. There's no method to it.
Fair enough. Figured if you had a bunch, wondered why. Okay.
I like this one because it says if it's Wednesday, it's Warhammer, and so that's nice for the show. So
That's all.
Should I get you a different one? Like I bought all the ones for him, by the way, that are in.
no, I mean this one's getting close because during if everybody can see this horrendous stain, obviously you two can't, but everybody else on the show can. During the 24-hour paint-a-thon this last weekend, I was like rushing and doing stuff really quick because it's you're fast. You got to work fast. And I tipped an entire full bottle of Agrax Earthshade over into my in the middle of it at like hour 16 into my lap. So because I had the apron, it all just spilled and pooled in the center of the apron. Nothing got under my pants. What's that?
You pour it back in the bottle.
No, I couldn't. It had soaked in by that point, basically. It was too late. I just wiped it up and then moved on. Got a new bottle of Agrax and kept going. So there you go. No time to waste. Literally just wipe, dab up, trash, new one, go. Time to work.
So do you want another? If it's Wednesday, it's Warhammer.
No, I'm fine with it. I'll switch.
Okay. So here we go. Next question. Sorry, I got to keep this moving.
Sure.
We have Amber for exactly 90 minutes.
No, that's fine.
So where are we at? We did the pick. Does Tom being a doctor now get him out of any household chores?
Let's refer back to he's in charge of 4 kids all day,
Sure.
every day. So no, he does not get out of any chores.
Well, I want to ask can I ask a follow-up question to that somebody just put in the chat, Amber?
Yes, please.
Which is, so how hard is it to have your husband, when he was doing the PhD work, was that also hard on you? Because the Jesse said, I know when I earned my PhD, it was very tough on his then girlfriend.
Yes.
Okay.
We've been at this for 12 years, and our twins are 9.
4 years of that was masters, but yes.
We've been at full-time education for over a decade.
Mm-hmm.
Not an easy journey. So he's done, and I don't go for anything further until he has a job.
There you go. Then if he wants any additional learning, hey, that's fine. Do whatever you like on your time where you can fit it in, assuming the kids are still taken care of.
Right. Yeah, I mean, there's no his time anymore. He's had plenty of time.
He's out of his time. He used a lifetime of his time in 8 or 10 years or whatever he has.
Apparently. That's what's happened. Okay, here we go. So how are you both dealing with the whole COVID-19 situation? I'm assuming this is aimed at Amber and Kathy. Are you getting on each other's nerves, or is Vince just simply always on your nerves? Okay, so I guess this is wives. How are you dealing with your husbands?
Yeah. Go ahead. You guys go first.
Or I think it's both. Like, Tom, how are you dealing with the COVID, and how am I dealing with it, and are we getting on each other's nerves?
I did not anticipate having summer to arrive so quickly. And what I mean by that is like having the kids here 24/7, all 4 of them, because like I had planned through May to have like 2 kids per day and 1 on some days. And now I have all 4 every day, all day. I don't really have an opportunity to get on Amber's nerves because like most days recently, she's like, you're working, like you are essential.
Yep.
And so it's just me and the kids. And I'm going a little stir crazy. I'm not gonna lie.
And he's thankful. He runs out of the house with mismatched shoes when he gets a chance.
Sure. Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
checks out.
So.
We need milk. I'm going. Got it.
Got
I'll be back 4 hours later.
Do you have a mask on when you go? You wearing a mask, Tom?
I have I've been in 95
Compliant mask from airbrushing. Yeah.
from airbrushing. That's
Yeah.
exactly right.
Yeah, same. That really came in handy. Boy, having that thing around, didn't think that'd be a sudden.
She was like, "Are you gonna wear a mask?" I said, "Oh, I got a mask." And she goes, "Where do you have a mask? How do you get a mask? Did you pick up a mask?" I said, "No, I had one downstairs. I think I have an extra one down there.
Yeah.
If you need one."
Apparently, our basement's ready for the apocalypse. We've got masks and we've got peanut butter. So,
I mean, so
so yeah.
All the essentials.
Yeah, and so on the other half of it, Tom's at the point, and he's thankful to get out of the house, and I don't blame him. I'm out of the house most days. I still work at a plant that's running 24/7, and I still deal with 4 teams that are working around the clock. So we have a lot to handle in how are we implementing all the CDC and COVID-19 measures on top of still having, production and having a high demand with people who are, consuming peanut butter at home and utilizing it now for their kids in their house at a higher rate than they were before. So it's been really busy and hectic at work. So by the time I'm done with a full day at work and like the stresses of, we've got a bunch of people working remotely, we're still trying to do a lot of production, we're still trying to implement all of the safety measures. By the time I come home, I am thankful to be home. So we're doing pretty well with it. But I think in some sense it's felt a little surreal for us because, we both have very different takes on it.
Sure.
And very different sides of it.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's true.
So.
All right.
I've enjoyed it, honestly. I'm not gonna lie,
Yeah.
just as an aside, because like none of our kids have soccer. Like right now, normally we have like 4 nights a week with like extracurricular activities amongst all of our kids, and right now like it's just like hanging out with the family.
It's so nice to just hang out. The kids help me make dinner in the kitchen. They'll help me bake cookies. We'll go outside, and they've been doing charades on the back deck after dinner. And I kid you not, it's hilarious. So we've done unicorns, we've done jellyfish, we've done
Werewolves.
ostriches, not just a wolf. My 3-year-old goes, "Ooh," and I was like, "It's a wolf." He goes, "No, mommy, a werewolf." So it has been it's really just been a very rewarding time for our family. And so I've enjoyed that part of it because like Tom said, every day of the week we basically are going to 1 or 2 different things, plus activities at school and extracurriculars and clubs and practices.
Cub Scouts
and viola lessons, and the list just goes on that it's exhausting.
Clarinet.
Yep. So it's kind of been a nice reprieve, actually.
Sure. No, I can see that. I thought about that actually. Like this occurred to me obviously as someone who doesn't have kids, but I was like, wow, I wonder if families right now and the way you're all kind of people who have kids and you're kind of basically stuck basically being with them most of the time feels more like what it would have been like to be in a family unit, say, a century ago. Right? Or any other previous time in history.
And
where basically your kids would have just been there working around the house, doing stuff with you all day, every day. And that was kind of just how life was.
It's
right?
quite quaint. And it's actually like I'm enjoying it. Yeah.
Nice.
I think a week or 2 from now, my daughter's going to be doing all the laundry and making pancakes and crepes for breakfast. And it's going to be just wonderful.
It's true.
So, yeah. So it's been good. It's also helped us start clearing out some stuff in our fridge and pantry, hence the reason I found some old sour mix. So, yeah.
Nice.
How about yourselves?
So it's really no different for Vince, except he doesn't have travel, because he always has worked from home. So for like the past 6 years, 7 years,
6+ years, yeah.
And so I'm going a little stir crazy. It's hard to keep a team engaged as a manager, and we deployed 35,000 associates in 3 days to remote location, and so that was big. And that's not my team. My team is 10, so I'm just a little small fish. But it's interesting to see that kind of come together and keep everybody kind of focused, and it's hard. I begged Vince on Monday to just take a drive. Mm-hmm. So we just went for a drive because I just needed to get out of the house because it had been 4 weeks at that point, and I was just like, I gotta get out of here. So
yeah, didn't get out, didn't interact with anybody, just literally driving in the car around. Yeah.
Drove around the neighborhood or whatever. So it was just nice, but yeah.
we went to like an outdoor sculpture like park
Mm-hmm.
where like not really many people know about it, and it's like free, and it was awesome.
It's great.
I think it was a bunch of weird modern art stuff, and we just walked around for an afternoon, and
Had a picnic lunch out there.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was
Nice.
just nice to get out and get a little fresh air. And for anyone else that has to still be traveling, I love that there is no rush hour.
Yeah, that's. I do like the commute home, Amber, from my office to the kitchen. There's very little traffic there, so I don't know what it's going to be like going back.
Nice.
So-
I have nothing to add to this. My life has changed in a remarkably little way. This was my life before. This is my life now. It has changed about 1%. The only change I can record is that now once a week I can't get the nachos that I normally order from the restaurant that I like to go to because they took that off of their limited menu. So yeah, I know, it's really a shame. That's it. Everything else of my life has changed. I work more than I did before. Everything that I would do is basically sitting at this desk right now. So
But a call out to affirm that for both you and Tom, within that small percentage that changed, it's not getting to go to Adepticon and some of those other things that were planned and things that you guys had looked forward to. And it's still worth recognizing that loss.
And Vince had probably poured over 1,000 hours in preparing miniatures for.
it's true.
So,
But there'll be future years. There'll be future things. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. I really miss, if there's anything, you're absolutely right, Amber. It's a good point. What I do miss from those events is it's good. It's great to be able to hang out with everybody here. It's great to be able to hang out with everybody like this. And I've been doing hangouts with folks and stuff like that, as I'm sure many of us have. But, I miss seeing everybody in person. That is the thing I miss from the convention more than anything. Like, that's a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. So that's a shame. There you go.
When you make peanut butter sandwiches, do you do 2 thin coats of peanut butter or 1 big thick like lather of peanut butter?
depends which kid I'm making it for.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
So,
I mean, that checks out.
yeah. And there's like some of them want it cut it in quarters, some of them want cut it in diagonal. They want different jellies.
What Nate wanted me to make him a peanut butter and jelly a couple hours ago.
That didn't happen.
That didn't happen. I just remembered it now.
I did preset him up with chocolate milk.
Oh.
So refer back to why we need so much milk.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you can't have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich without a glass of milk. That's how it happens.
Yep. I think for me, I actually prefer, I eat peanut butter a lot. So, and I mostly just eat it by the spoonful. But if I'm going to make it, I usually do it like a Ritz cracker. I'll put some peanut butter and a little dollop of jelly, and that's how I like it.
Oh.
That's my preferred way. But most of the time, it's just by the spoonful.
Gotcha.
You
So Amber isn't using a palette. She's going straight from the pot. She's a straight from the pot painter with the peanut butter.
Pretty much. So, and a call out actually to anybody from Canada. My favorite peanut butter that Jif makes, well, one of my favorite ones that Jif makes is actually the dark roast up in Canada. And so not very often do I get to say that, but yeah, anybody up there, try it out. It is delicious. So.
Can we not get that down here?
Mm-mm.
Oh, that's not
Not
fair.
at the moment. Yep. So, and it's fun. It's in a little 500 gram and a 1 kg jar, so it's in different sizes for their standards. So yeah, and then everything's in English and in French, but it's a really good flavor. So
Nice.
shout out.
It's okay.
Oh, I like it.
I like the cinnamon peanut butter a lot better.
I do, but that's not peanut butter. That's like dessert on a spoon. Yeah, we do. So, and that's discontinued.
You do realize all this we're talking about for Vince is just cans of death, right?
Yeah, I know. It's the best part about it. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, Vince definitely allergic to peanuts.
Yeah, correct.
That was our UPS delivery guy when I offered him peanut butter today.
Nice.
I was like, hey, extra peanut butter. He's like, yeah, no thanks.
I would prefer to keep breathing. I'm all right, but I appreciate the offer. It's very nice.
There you go.
So my wife, in sum, is a death merchant from Vince's perspective.
From my perspective, yes, correct. That's
But
right.
a goddess to many children and others.
No, happiness, yes.
Indeed. So there's so many questions about Vince's boots.
It's a popular thing apparently. I
Yeah.
wear Doc Martens. I own one pair of shoes. They're the only pair of shoes I wear. I wear them every day from morning till night. I don't take them off for any occasion. I would wear them to anything.
If he's gonna run, he does have a pair of sneakers, okay, or tennis shoes, or trainers, or whatever you want to talk. Like, he has one pair of those.
Yeah,
if
those
he's
are
gonna
out there,
run.
but they're only for running. Yeah,
It's only for running.
Yeah.
And mowing the grass if he had to do that.
something like that. Yeah.
So next question. In the famous invoking the famous Titanic,
Okay.
have Tom or Vince ever, quote, painted you?
No, and there's no. I can't speak for Tom, but Vince is not a realistic painter. Like, he wouldn't be like, I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna paint this face. No, thank you. No, and
You would have
no deviation
purple
on
skin.
that. No deviation on that. There's no painted lady thing either. So I'm not like going nude and having him paint me either. No, thank you. Next.
Purples and teals. That's what you'd end up, Kathy.
That's right. I don't remember wearing. I didn't think my coloration was that shade of pink. I mean, I know I'm fair, but come on.
They don't make female dwarves, so I'm safe.
Oh, Amber.
It's the only thing Tom knows how to paint. That's all he can do. So yeah, there you go.
Apparently, although I'm not gonna lie, she does keep asking me if they've made female dwarves yet. Like, that is a real sticking point for my wife, by the way. Like, she's like, yeah, I'll do Warhammer. Do they have female dwarves? I'm like, no. And she's like, nope,
I'm not interested.
I'm not interested.
Yeah.
I like your dwarf furniture line. Like, I like the way they've designed that, and I like the way it looks, and it's got enough strong features, and I think it's got enough soft features in it. I find it a good blend visually, but they don't have any females. So
Not to get, I don't know, just as a thing here. So Bad Squiddo Games, which is run by Annie, who is awesome. She has a whole range of realistic female warriors and stuff from throughout history, and I think she also has other I think she has female dwarves and female elves and all that kind of stuff, and just like traditional female Viking warriors and things like that. So Tom, I'm pretty sure she has a range of female dwarves, if I remember right, that are pretty good.
Will
So
check it out.
So there
I
you
don't
go.
think it's gonna change anything, but I'll have to check it out.
Yeah. So there are options out there. Don't let him give you that answer, Amber. There's options out there.
Well, I mean, Reaper has a couple female dwarves. Like,
Mhm.
we own those. We own those models for like your last D&D character. So, but yeah, as for our Warhammer armies, those just don't exist.
No.
GW, if you're watching, and I know you are, there you go. There's another product line. You have another customer right here. Female dwarves.
One customer.
Sometimes all it takes is one customer to spark a great idea.
Hey, I'll bet there are more customers that would buy female dwarves.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Okay. So here's a nice contentious question. How do you come to agreement on the amount of money your husband can spend on hobbies in a given amount of time? And I know the answer to both of these questions, which is going to be hilarious. Vince and Kathy, go.
Sure.
No, if you know the answer to both of us, let's go. Let's hear your take on this, Tom.
That you guys. Well, I'm not going to out your finances. I'll let you guys do that.
Sure,
Go
that's
ahead.
fine. We have completely separate finances, so neither of us has any oversight over what the other spends on money.
So let's kind of put some caveats in there. We're both fairly responsible.
Yes.
We both.
I am very cheap. That's another way
Vince
to say that.
is very frugal. I am not. I get Vince to, like, we have separate bank accounts. We pool resources at the end of every month. We used to settle up at the end of every month, and whoever spent more, like, he would pay for like the mortgage, and I would do all the, household and the groceries and all of that, and then we'd settle up at the end of every month, and we just sort of, we're both making the same amount because, unlike Tom, I have a job, but
I have jobs.
sorry, Tom. One that pays. So, and so, come on, little Tommy Lyons. I gotta dig.
Mhm.
I gotta dig at ya, So, we just kind of kept it that way. I don't like kind of micromanage Vince, and he doesn't micromanage me. I mean, for God's sakes, I came back from Vegas with a pair of the most ostentatious and probably Vince would dare say ugly Gucci shoes. And he doesn't know how much they were. Obscene.
Sure. So there you go. Yeah, easy. I know what Tom's answer is here as well, so I mean, if you guys want to go ahead.
Amber?
So early on, before we had kids, Tom and I both had kind of a monthly allotment of our income in.
Of fun money.
Of fun money. So he had his little bit of fun money, and I had my bit of fun money. And so that was how it kind of started in the beginning. Since having kids and one income and school expenses, it pretty much became you figure out how to get your own money, and then whatever you can keep reinvesting, you can use. So he has, in his very entrepreneurial, winning manner, figured out ways to continue his gaming hobby. We have at times used some of our family funds for Kickstarters, things like that have turned around, and he'll
and then I pay back into our family budget, right?
And then it gives him a little bit more of a head start. But,
right. So the answer is that at this point I'm completely independent and self-sufficient with regard to my hobby in gaming. And so my hobby expenses don't touch our family budget at all. And likewise, our family budget does not take into account any of my hobby expenses. Mm-hmm. And so I fund all of my hobby by well, a lot of it has been Kickstarter funding. So then I pay into Kickstarters, I get a bunch of product, and then I'll resell all that product very quickly. At a lot of money. I also sell. No, I don't. Raise Retrieve Productions. I don't sell drugs, unless you take into account Warhammer miniatures.
Sure.
And then I sell plastic crack. I mean, the reality is that for a long time I was buying and reselling Warhammer armies, a significant amount. So I would buy large, $500,000 armies, and then parse them out. And I don't know that I've ever not doubled my money on those. The bare minimum has almost always been doubling my money. I think the best I've ever done is making 10 times my investment.
The key thing on this, you have to have time.
Right.
Oh yeah, that's
Mm-hmm.
good point. And that's amazing, Tom, that you're able to do that. If you can fully fund your hobby, that's what Vince does with the painting, right? Fully fund. If you could fully fund the hobby, that's amazing. I don't know. I guess you guys don't seem to argue about that at all, right? It's not. Is it time constraints that you have to that becomes an obstacle for a while?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, time is the thing that we have to negotiate around. But for me, the reality is especially even with the reselling, I don't do as much of it anymore. But once it's posted on eBay, I don't ever touch it. Mm-hmm. So as soon as I get it up, I just leave it for a month or 2 months or whatever. I don't do auctions. So I do all buy it now. Buy it now or make me an offer. And so there's no micromanaging it. And there was always a post office on the way to and from my school. So it was just part of my daily routine was swinging by the post office whenever I had stuff to drop it. And so and we buy enough on Amazon that I just use all my Amazon boxes to ship all of my actual miniature purchases in general. So it's not ever been so a lot of the micromanaging stuff just hasn't ever needed to happen. It's been very natural. But you have to have a working knowledge of the market before you can just kind of fly by the seat of your pants like that. So, but yeah, so I mean, it's at this point, it's become self-sufficient, and some of the folks that follow me on Twitter, they've seen that I posted some stuff this week, and I sold off a bunch of old models and stuff like that I didn't have plans for anymore or stuff like that, and now I have my nest egg for my next army. So when Lumineth drops, I'll be able to buy everything, and yeah. So.
Yeah, I would like to point out that conversation of Tom selling stuff started when he said, I really need to figure out a way to how I'm going to fund this new army. And I said, Tom, why don't you sell some stuff that you've got? And he's like, I don't have anything to sell. And I said, Tom, that is a bald-faced lie. You need to go look around in your house and figure out what you got to sell. And he came back the next day and he was like, I got a lot of stuff to sell. I was like, yeah, I thought so.
Yep. And so now I have enough to buy a new army. So, yeah. So, yeah, yeah. That's how we deal with budget for around hobby, is that that it basically doesn't touch. Amber's given me the freedom to manage that aspect of my own budget, as long as it stays separate and never touches our family budget.
Sure.
So,
Yeah. Our family, and then what I make is what takes care of the household. So it just.
Now, it's not that I keep all, now let me offer an apologetic for myself. I also use that money that I make often, occasionally, for gifts and stuff like that. Like, I'll buy stuff for the kids. I bought a camera a couple years back, like a nice camera for the family and stuff like that. So I don't only use that for when I have, I don't only use that for myself, my hobby monies, but oftentimes that's what it goes to. So
nice.
Yeah. So that's how we handle it. So the answer for both of us is that we keep our money completely separate from our spouses.
Yes, not hidden.
Not
Just
hidden.
separate.
Not hidden. Yeah.
Not hidden, just separate. And so they don't have to think about it, and they don't have to feel the pressure of us spending, because they know any spending that we do is out of a budget that is, in a sense, on one hand is off limits, and in another sense, it's not. They don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, I don't have to worry, and Amber doesn't have to worry, and maybe Amber, I'll correct this, but I don't have to worry that Vince is buying a new army or a new army drops, and he's going out to get something. I don't have to worry about house payments, mortgage, car insurance, life insurance, things like that. I don't have to worry about that stuff. That comes off the top first, right? That's already done, and then it's the other stuff. This is the fun stuff. So
yeah, and that's pretty much the same for us. I mean, for me, I worry about all those, but they only have one solution. So his gaming is a small enough amount that it just kind of reinvests itself.
And the other thing too. Oh, sorry, Amber, I didn't mean to talk over you. The other thing too is I think Amber and I are both very I can't put this delicately.
Self-possessed, is that what you're going for?
Yeah, we'll go with that. We'll go with that. That we basically would come to you and be like, and then this is how I handled our umbrella policy for our house, was just here, sign this. This is the life insurance, here, sign this. Yep. This is our new, here, sign this. It's not, we just take care of it. Mm-hmm. And we don't wait around for you guys, or I don't wait around for Vince to make a decision. This is the decision. This is the right thing to do. This is what we should do. So
on that, so what you're saying is, if I can translate there, is if I suddenly disappear and a will shows up that says, in the event of death or disappearance. Yeah, correct. That definitely, so you should be investigating my wife.
Oh, no.
Even if I signed the document.
No.
Check the meat grinder and check the dog dishes for the golden shepherds.
Absolutely.
Just remember, Tom, that if you want to be a witness, you can take whatever you want out of this basement before anybody else.
Noted.
So as long as you
cooperate,
cooperate, I'll make sure you're taken care of. Capiche?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
Yeah, I got your back, Happy.
Thank you. That went a little morbid there. Sorry, guys.
Okay. All right. What do we got next? We're coming down here.
What is your favorite thing to do while Tom and Vince do their show? When we do recording, what are your favorite things to do?
I troll Tom on the comments.
I mean, she does. It's true.
That makes me smile.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Amber. I channel you.
Thank you. I sleep.
That's a great thing to do. I see no issue with that.
Nope.
All right.
If it's early enough, I may catch up with a friend on the phone for a couple minutes, and then I go to sleep.
It's true. Why the hell did you marry insert name here?
All right. I think this is over to you two. Amber, you want to kick us off?
Why'd you marry me?
Has anyone told you that we started our relationship basically with 2.5 years at distance.
Sure.
Oh, bam!
We were in the same town for 3 months.
Of our 2.5 years.
Sure.
Sure.
No, there's a lot of qualities. And I mean, Tom's very gregarious. He's very fun-loving. He's very strategic. There's a lot of things about Tom. A very magnanimous personality. And those are all very attractive things. So he's got a lot of capabilities and a lot of strengths, and there's a lot that I do admire about him. Being married to him, I've also learned the realities of life too. And so we've grown over time. He's learned a lot about me, and I'm not all that he thought I was going to be when he got married. So we've kind of learned those differences and have had to evolve, and marriage isn't easy. So there's a lot to talk about, and there's a lot of learning of what's negotiable, what's non-negotiable, what do we like and why. And then you add kids on the mix and 2 very different schedules. And so it's not always been the easiest path, but it's still a good one.
Yeah. 15 years.
Going on.
So, Tom, why
Yeah.
did you marry Vince?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I was a young pup, and he just took me under his wing.
It was very much like that, yeah. I had some tigers and brought him over. That's what it was.
I mean,
Hard to say no.
how can you say no to tigers?
That's right. That's right.
Lions.
Yeah, exactly. What about you, dear? Why did you marry me?
You made me laugh.
Okay.
Mostly at myself, which is hard to do. So yeah, I'll go that. Okay, I'll stick with that for now.
All right. Fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think I've had too much gin to wax too poetic. So there you
Okay.
go.
Got it.
Probably
Can
will.
I insert a quick question from Paul that he asked in the comments here?
Sure.
Will either of the wives let their husbands cut their hair during the quarantine? I'll answer for you, Paul, for this side of the equation. There is not a way, in any way, shape, or form, in any world, heaven or hell, this side or the other, imaginary or otherwise, that I would ever cut her hair or get near it. So, no, that's a definite hard no. I cut my own hair, so it doesn't matter.
Stand up. Sit up. Turn around. Do you think anybody's cutting this?
Do you think I know how to cut hair? No. I tried giving our dachshund, our childhood dog, racing stripes with a razor when I was in junior high.
No.
And I learned I should not be a hairdresser. So I'm not even. It took months. I swear over 6 months for that poor dog's hair to finally grow back out. My mom was livid.
I could practice on the dogs.
No, they're
I
so
was willing to
pretty.
practice on the dogs.
No.
I will not
Come
cut my husband's hair. I learned
here. No,
this
come
is
here.
my forte.
And I mean, I don't mind being shaggy, so it's not the end of the world.
Sure. You want to do one more question, Tom, and then we'll wrap it up as we're about to come to our 90 minutes?
Uh,
What do you got for a last good question?
Here, everybody loves the dogs.
how about this one? Who picked your children's names, either children or dogs?
Sure. As close as I'm going to get, and that's fine. Yeah. No, that is a good question. So, Tom, you've got 4 kids. Where did their names? Yes, you have 5. Yes, absolutely correct. I'll yeah. How'd you choose your names?
So our first 2 are twins, boy-girl twins, and we had a ton of fun.
One is here.
One's here. Come join us. You gotta scoot all the way over. That's where the camera is. It'll show up in just a minute.
This
This
is our.
is our eldest by 10 minutes
Mm-hmm.
from her younger brother. And we had a ton of fun as twins of coming up with like just Luke and Leia, just funny names.
Which they're mad about, by the way, at this point, that we didn't go with Luke and Leia.
Sure.
Aww.
So, but you know, Tom always wanted a very formal name that could be shortened. So something where they had, they could be called, you know, either a nickname or a more formal name. And then we also always had the rule that anyone could have veto rights.
Right.
So if you just said, I don't like it, you veto it and it's off the table.
Yep.
And so then we just went back and forth. Most of ours have come from having backgrounds with characters and shows we like.
Mm-hmm.
So Tom really liked Princess Bride. Kind of who doesn't?
Sure.
And so Wesley was from Princess Bride, and he was also going to a Wesleyan seminary. And then that could be shortened to Wes. So that felt pretty congruent, all things aligned on it. And then we liked the name Adele from Dollhouse, but we wanted something that was a little longer. And my mother's name is Linda. So we did add a Lynn. So we pulled the Lynn from Linda.
And we call her Adele or Dell oftentimes.
Yep. She's Adeline or Adele or Dell.
Yep.
So yeah, that was our first two.
Jonathan, I don't know how we got Jonathan.
We liked the nickname Jonna.
We like the nickname Jonna, right?
Sure.
And so we started with Jonna, and then we went to like the longer Jonathan. And then we got his middle name Alexander when I was at a fast food restaurant on the way to the hospital. It hit me because we had talked about Xander at one point in time. Casper. You wanted Casper.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want Casper.
I thought it was a fun, friendly ghost.
Right. And then with Tori, do you want to tell Tori's story?
Yeah. So Tori's our daughter. She was born 13 months after Jonathan, and Jonathan was alive for about 12 weeks before he passed away. So we got pregnant with Tori like within about 4 weeks after.
Right after.
Yep, doggone right after. That's right. And so we found out it was a little girl, and Tom's mom's name is Victoria, and we've always liked the nickname Tori. My mom's name is Linda, but she goes by Lynn, so we did Victoria Lynn. So that's how we got her name.
Yep. And it felt appropriate given the kind of the Latin root of Victoria, given the loss having victory.
Yeah, and just kind of that coming back to letting our family grow again.
Yep. And then Nate.
Yeah, Nathaniel is his name.
Yep, Nathaniel or Nate. You're not allowed on camera. You don't have clothes.
Oh my god!
Boy. He can. There we go, buddy.
And Nate. How did we come up with Nate?
Nathaniel means gift of God. And so when we decided to have another child, we realized that, it's a 50-50 chance, girl or boy. And what we really did want to add another boy to the family if we had a choice in the matter. So when we found out that he was a boy, it was just kind of that kind of thank you. This is a gift from God, and wanted to honor that with his name. So then we call him Nate or Nathaniel. And then his middle name is David. So he's Nathaniel David. And in the Bible, David is Jonathan's best friend. So we had that.
Nice. Nice.
There you go.
That's very nice. There's no way that we're going to follow that up with anything even remotely interesting with dog names. Yes, that's
Doggies.
fine.
Tell us about your dogs.
We did Bella.
Not Bella.
They're dogs.
No, we did our kids. They get to do their dogs.
Oh, sure. That's how it works, yes.
I'll do our dogs.
They're
We named them after money originally. Penny,
No,
Lyra.
Well, yeah. Originally, I'd always named dogs after color. So I had Chivas, who was named after a Scotch, and then Penny, she was Penny. I don't know, she was just Penny. And then we have Lyra, Italian currency, and then we adopted Aspen. Aspen came with her name.
Yep.
So she was the one who was up in my lap, Aspen. Why I'm all covered in fur now.
And that's it.
And the dogs can be naked on camera, so
That is
we
true.
don't have to worry too much about that.
That is true. All right. Well, there we go. I know we've reached our time. Amber, thank you so much.
Thank you, Vince. I really do appreciate you being mindful and respectful of my evening schedule. It
And
means
she
a lot.
never needs to go to bed.
Go to bed.
100%. I understand you get up in an hour that would literally make me weep and cry. So you are made of sterner stuff than me, Amber.
There are moments when I get up at like 4 or 5 in the morning, and for any of you that do, I just don't think that's a friendly hour, whether you're a morning person or a night owl. It is just a tough time to start the day. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Unimaginable. So thank you, Kathy. Thank you very much.
This was fun. Thank you all for
Anytime.
helping with this.
We will have you both back again, I am sure. For all of you out there watching, thank you very much. Remember to hit like. Show our wives that you enjoyed this show. Hit the like button. You can press it. It's right down there. You can see it. It's over there somewhere. I don't know. Press it.
Selfless promotion.
Click that button. Otherwise, they'll feel bad. You don't want them to feel bad. That would be very mean if you didn't hit like. You would literally be not liking this show and making our wives feel bad. And that would be terrible.
Oh my gosh.
How
please.
would you do that to them?
Stop it.
That's so mean.
Stop it.
I
We will
wouldn't
try to
listen.
answer the questions.
Zing.
So, but at any rate, thank you all very much. I really appreciate you watching. As always, stay safe out there, and we'll see you next Wednesday. Bye-bye.
Bye.